Welcome to Scribble Sundays. This is the tutorial to give you a bit of guidance for what it's all about. So, Sundays are all about having fun, relaxing, recharging, and resetting your mind for the week to come. Sunday Scribbles are about taking a few minutes to slow down and ask yourself, how was my week? To be open and honest without judgment of yourself and consider what went well and what didn't go so well. So we start off with doing doodles of things that have happened this past week, or emotions that you felt, or any words that pop into your mind that relate to the week you've had. And then we move on to the next week for our hopes for the coming week. So in order to do this, all you need is something to write on and something to write with. So I've got my weekly planner. So each week, obviously, I would have completed this, and then on the back, I'm going to be doing my daily scribbles. So the reason I'm doing that is because I want to be able to find any correlations in my moods or patterns, generally how I felt that week, to do with any activities that I may have done in that week. It keeps it all in one place. I can go back and reflect and easily see if there's anything I need to change or do more of. But you can do whatever works for you. Maybe get a notebook so you'll have it all in one place, or just any bits of scrap paper you have lying around works too. I've got these little felt, sort of very thin tipped markers. I got those from Home Bargains. They were 79 pence and they were a good buy. Perfectly fine for my purposes. So I'm going to start off by saying I am definitely not a skilled doodler in any way, shape or form. I can barely draw basic shapes, and that really isn't the intention of it. I do find it difficult not to be embarrassed by my doodles, but that isn't what we're doing. So it's just sort of a silly way to have a bit of fun and express yourself and take that time to reflect on your week. So I'm going to give you an example of how it's going to work. So you'll begin by drawing or sketching any words that you've associated with your week, or maybe a picture, a doodle of something that pops into your head. So, for example, the first thing that's popped into my head is it feels like spring is coming. So I might draw a little plant. Maybe a tiny, tiny little sun, because it's not quite warm yet. I might draw an apple, because I've been trying to focus more on my nutrition this week. Maybe I'll draw, the word that's popping into my mind is achoo. Because we've all been stuck indoors with colds. My little daughter is going through a developmental stage, where she's getting very frustrated. And I think the fact that we've been stuck indoors this week has also had an effect on her mood. This is my strange drawing. But my two children have been really good with each other. They've enjoyed each other. So any parent will know if your kids are getting along, it really has an effect. Again, I said I wasn't good at drawing, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to draw a little love heart because they've just been enjoying each other more this week. I suppose we could also do something about Valentine's Day. So this would probably be quite a fun activity to do with somebody else, because you can have a laugh at their expense. Okay, so I've given you a pretty good idea of what you're supposed to be doing. So once you feel like you've summed up your week, and you've had a good sort of reflection on what you've been up to, I want you to consider what your overall overriding emotion was the majority of the time. So, for example, I was very thoughtful in terms of thinking about the future and making plans. And generally, I was quite happy. I had a good week. So, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write past there. And we're going to decide whether we want any of these experiences or emotions to carry on into the new week or not. Now, if you don't, draw a solid line. And if you do, maybe draw a dotted line or something that will signify that you're happy for things to carry on. And what we're going to do as we do that is use a meditative technique. So we're going to breathe in positivity and breathe out negativity to try to let go of some of the emotions that we felt last week that won't serve us moving on into the next week. So we'll just take a few seconds to breathe in gratitude and breathe out any negativity. And once you feel like you're ready to move on to next week, open up your eyes and start considering what you'd like to pull forward to next week from the previous week. That's where we'll start. So I'm doing a dotted line because there are parts of this that I don't want to come through, so I'm going to use red dots to signify that. Obviously, I don't want my daughter to be frustrated. And I think I can learn from this week by getting out more now that we're all sort of less ill. So I'm going to signify that with a few plants outdoors. What else? Definitely want more meditation. Definitely want more mindfulness. I'm going to do that nice and big because that's big in my life at the moment. Lots more love. Carry this forward, and then I'm going to think of maybe things that I didn't get last week, but I feel like I need this week. So a big one for me there is time and balance. We're still trying to work that out. We've got 2 young children, me and my husband, so trying to find that balance can be quite tricky. So that is the idea. You have a little moment to reflect on your past week and how you're going to move forward. And hopefully at the end of it, you feel like you let go of some of the negativity that maybe you felt previously, and you're ready, focused, feeling happy and motivated to move on to your next week. I hope that gets you off to a wonderful start, and I hope you have a great week. See you next Sunday.